Unit 3, Lesson 15, Solving Literal Equations, Day 2. Alright, all the stuff on top is still exactly 100% the same. None of it has changed and won't anytime soon. That's what's being done to the variable. Do the inverse operation. Do the same to the other side and solve. Yesterday you were introduced to the idea of slope-intercept form, where you learned that the m represents the slope of a line. That may not even mean much to you right now, but it's okay to start learning about it. And b represents the y-intercept of a line. When we start graphing in the fourth quarter, that'll make a lot more sense. Alright, we got 8 examples to go through today. Alright, and all of them deal with the same exact type of problem, what we were working on yesterday. Just extra practice now, okay? So, looking at the problem, again, I'm taking a look at the variable I'm being asked to solve for is y. So I'm looking at these problems and thinking, what is being done to that specific variable? So when I look at this variable, I see that there's a negative in front of it. And I know there's a 1 there. So what I would say is this is being multiplied by negative 1. And we are adding 3x. Last thing I say is the first thing I get rid of. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So I subtract 3x from both sides. That's negative 1y equal to negative 3x plus 5. Like we said yesterday, these are not like terms. Alright? Right here, those are not like terms. Do not try to combine them. Alright, last step here, and this is very important. Alright, make sure you drop your negative sign down. We do have to divide by negative 1. When we divide, everything gets divided. So that would be 3x minus 5. Y is now by itself. Alright, we are also in slope-intercept form. Alright, take a look at B. Again, I'm going to look and see what is being done to y. Well, if you'll notice, problem A and problem B are very similar. Okay, on the left side, it's exactly the same thing. I am multiplying by negative 1, and I'm adding 3x. Alright, so we're going to do exactly the same thing, but this time, you're going to notice that I have like terms on the other side. So that's going to cancel. I get negative y equal to 2x because 5x minus 3x is 2x. Just remember this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yuck. There we go. If I take away 3 of those, that's going to leave 2 x's left. Alright, so sometimes you have like terms and you have to know how to deal with that. Alright, the last step is still the same. Divide by negative 1 and I end up with negative 2x minus 6. Okay? Keep in mind as you do this, your equal sign is a brick wall. It should just continue straight down. Alright, now let's take a look at C. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in C. Alright, let's always start when we read by what is closest to the variable and then expand out, alright, until we get everything. So the 2 is clearly the closest. The 2 is multiplied. And then from there, you could read in either direction. You could say, well, I think there's a plus 6 next and a minus 4x. Or you may reverse those two. Either way, you're going to end up with the same answer. Okay? As long as you recognize that the 2 is first. These two don't matter. Why? Because, well, they're both addition and subtraction. And as we learned in the very beginning of the year with order of operations, addition and subtraction are equally as important. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take care of the 4x first because I'm doing the last thing I say is the first thing I get rid of. Now I need to get rid of that. Positive 6, negative 6 is 0. 4x and negative 6 are not like terms, so I'm going to write 4x minus 6. Alright, and now I got to get rid of that. Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. Need a little bit more space here. Y equals 2x minus 3. Alright, once again, kind of a straight line. Try to keep that as straight as you can as you do this. Alright, and the last one in this set, again, we're taking a look at what is being done to the variable in question, which is y. Notice again, we refer to this as solving for y or writing in slope-intercept form. So when I look here, I see that we are multiplying by 2 and subtracting 2. So last thing I say is the first thing I get rid of. Opposite operation. Do the same to the other side. That's 2y equal to 3x plus 14. Again, like terms need to be combined. Nothing new here. All right, divide, divide, divide. Simplify where possible. For example, 3 over 2 is 3 over 2. Leave it alone. And that will be 7. All right, let's move on. All right, we have a few more problems. And what you're going to notice is if you take a look above, they are very, very similar. Okay? Now, notice this says example 2, you're going to solve for y, write in slope-intercept form, and then it says you're going to do this on your own. Tomorrow during class, we'll go over those 4 problems. So you are responsible for trying to do these 4 problems completely on your own. All right, if you have questions, we could see you for help during 1C time, or again, make sure you ask them in class. But I want to make this perfectly clear. If you do not attempt to try and do these 4 problems, you are not receiving credit for the homework. Simply saying, I don't get it, and giving up is unacceptable. You have to try. You have to try your hardest to get them right. And if they happen to be wrong, no big deal. We'll learn from your mistakes. Okay? But you never know. You may surprise yourself and get it right. And my guess is that probably happens more than you think.